Dear Church, I recently returned from a solidarity visit with our ELCIC global mission partner, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Jordan and the Holy Land. I was honored to be present for the consecration of the new bishop of the ELCJHL, Bishop Dr. Imad Haddad. I want to share with you some reflections from this travel, where I witnessed firsthand the resiliency, hope, hospitality, and the varied ministries of the ELCJHL. At 1:30 in the afternoon, on the day of the consecration, hundreds of local church members and international church leaders, both Lutherans and ecumenical partners, gathered to join a procession from Jaffa Gate to the Lutheran Church of the Redeemer for the consecration service. Christian youth scouts with drums, bagpipes, and brass instruments waited to lead us. We met in a buzz of excitement, greeting old and new friends, taking selfies, waiting for the bishop-elect to arrive, and waiting and waiting. Then an alarming word started to spread through the crowd. Bishop-elect Imad's 70-year-old mother had been detained at the checkpoint and denied entry, despite having a valid permit to enter Jerusalem. Elsewhere, checkpoints were closing arbitrarily at 1:30 p.m. with no advance warning, blocking people on their way to the church, even though Palestinian Christians had been granted special permits to travel to Jerusalem for the duration of the Christmas season. Later, we learned that Bishop Imad's mother had not only been refused entry, but that a young soldier at the checkpoint had held a gun to her head. It was, Bishop Imad reflected that evening at dinner, a day of anger and humiliation, as well as joy. And as Bishop Imad declared to us, it is a choice to rejoice in the day that the Lord has made, or to succumb to the brutality of human beings. When, after hours of phone calls and negotiations, Bishop Imad and his family, including his mother, finally arrived at Jaffa Gate and the procession began, with the scouts playing Christmas music in the streets of the city, Bishop Imad chose to rejoice. During our visits to the schools of the ELCJHL, I was deeply moved by songs shared by the children, who sang of their longing for their childhood, for peace, for life without war, and for the hope that all might live peacefully together. I heard of the suffering of the Palestinian people, systems of apartheid, checkpoints, gates that disrupt movement, land seizures, night raids, collective punishment, human rights abuses, and the devastating loss of civilian life in Gaza that many human rights experts describe as genocide. Despite all this, the ELCJHL remains steadfast in its mission, their faithfulness being lived out in powerful ways. Hope persists, not as denial, not as silence, but as a daily defiant choice. I'm learning from our siblings in the ELCJHL that hope asks something of us. It asks us to stay present when it would be easier to disengage, to keep caring when compassion feels costly, and to believe that faith still has something meaningful to say to the world as it is. This kind of hope is lived, it's practiced, it's chosen again and again. This hope demands that we grieve with those who grieve, refuse silence in the face of injustice, and pray while also acting for dignity, freedom, and life for all God's children.